It's 4:31. Open up the sewer commission meeting, October 23rd. Brian Donahoe
Bill Watson.
and Elaine is not available tonight. This meeting was rescheduled from Tuesday just because of a noticing problem that had something to do with out of our control. First item on the agenda, there's nobody here, right?
I'm online.
Oh, you are online. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you might be online. Okay, so Elaine is online.
Yes.
Elaine, I know you have a short window to be available. Is there anything particular you want to talk about on the agenda that we have?
No, but if you have any votes you need, and feel free. Whatever order you want to put it in is fine.
Okay. I'm looking down here. I think with you online, the annual town meeting article probably is a good thing to start with.
Okay.
Our meeting's next Tuesday, and we're going to have a meeting before that next Tuesday as well. So if do you have any thoughts on that, Elaine?
Just that we're working on the numbers, and we're comfortable. We should be comfortable that no rate increase will be needed for the articles we're requesting.
Right.
That we should be able to do it within the available funds we have.
Good. Yep, that's pretty much what we thought. So we're, our financials are in pretty good shape with the rate increases and all. So that's good. Okay.
Yeah, they should be in. We're going to talk. Dave and I will talk more about it tomorrow. So we'll get that squared away.
Okay. The next one that I think probably should be discussed is 22 Main Street, just to update where we are and where we're going with the meeting next week.
Yeah, so Colin and I spoke a couple times. There's been a few emails back and forth. Next week, I believe it's around noontime, he and I are going to meet up on site and go over. He wants to propose some ideas, and one of them was to put a camera down the pipe instead of digging it up and exposing it. And I told him he'd have to come to the board and present his thoughts to the board next Tuesday. So he did request that we give him what we have for paperwork involved with the issue at 22 Main Street. So I'm going to gather all my paperwork, make an extra copy, and have that available for next Tuesday's meeting. I'm not exactly sure how productive our meeting is going to be Tuesday, but I told him I'd meet him on site and see what he has to say. And then as far as from there, I said, I don't know how things are going to proceed. It's up to the board and the department how we want to move forward with it, whether we want to allow that camera to go down the pipe and suffice as an investigative tool. Me personally, if you stick a camera down the pipe and it comes around a bend and doesn't see a connection somewhere that we miss, I think this is our opportunity to see that entire line. And also that the camera doesn't really tell us when they did excavate it and change the use for that pipe. We have no idea what they use for backfill underneath it. Is it laid properly? So I personally would like to see the thing opened up, at least from where he cut the asphalt midway up the driveway to its end point. That's my take on it. And, I told him if that's what he's looking to do, he'd have to present that to the board. But I really don't see any way around, digging it up and exposing it.
I think that makes sense. I mean, from the point you made was from the place that we know we can see that it was cut. may have been patched, may not have been patched based on the pictures we've seen, but at least you know that's where whatever happened, started. And I would agree with that.
Well, in
It
even,
wasn't,
go ahead, Elaine.
I was just gonna say, wasn't there at some point it was mentioned that a connection was made that he wasn't even aware of?
Allegedly, he wasn't aware of.
Right,
hard-
so, I mean,
I have a
let's
hard
just
time
say that,
believing that, but that's fine. But either way,
And-
to that point, that would have to be excavated and fixed anyway.
right, and that would just go into so what you're saying, that just putting down the camera, isn't gonna show everything that needs to be seen. Especially if there could have been work done at the property owner isn't aware of.
Yep. And when you see it, you see it. You know that there's not a connection here or there, or, if there is something that is found, then, we can open it up, have them flush toilets, find out where the stuff actually comes from, or stick a camera in that intersecting pipe and follow it to its end, so we know where that goes. I mean, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that, you stick a camera down the pipe and you see a connection somewhere. It doesn't tell you where that goes, there's a whole lot of unknowns.
Right.
And to the point where they cut into the pipe and added a roof leader tie-in, you need to dig down to expose that to fix it. You don't just, put a license plate over it and some duct tape and that's the repair. It's got to be a legitimate repair that you open up the ground, cut the pipe, put some Fernco fittings on it and compact it and put everything back together. So there's a need to dig down to fix what we know is there. And not knowing what else is there could be some more excavation involved. So
Yeah.
I want the board to be involved. I don't want it to be just my decision.
Well, we'll have the meeting next Tuesday. Go ahead, Elaine. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that'll be good. After the site visit and everything else, we'll listen to the property owner and then, see what the best route is to take that will ensure we know everything that's going on the property.
Yeah, and that what's there, in the end is what he was approved to have. That there's no extraneous.
Yeah.
Connections anywhere.
Until they
Yep.
go back to Board of Health and the building department and whatever to get it done properly. If that can be done, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's basically
that makes
restore it to where it should be and then the rest is different. It's a whole different problem. Okay.
Yeah, the rest of
any
it, we
other-
would take the lead on everybody else.
All right, so the only other thing here that the septic rate increase, is there something there that we need to would need to vote on? I know we've been talking about waiting in time just to fit it in.
Probably, yeah, just to make sure that it is supported by us.
Okay, so a motion, I'll make the motion to based on our past discussions with the superintendent and the timing that he's requested, the delay in starting, that we vote to increase the septic rate. I think the date was January,
Yeah, we're thinking January.
Yeah. in January of 2026,
And to go to 7 cents
and go to 7 cents. I'm sorry. Yeah.
from 6.5.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Elaine, I.
And opposed is none. Okay, so that's done. Go back to financials, I guess. So Gene and
So, yeah, as far as financials, Elaine, myself and Jeannie have been working on looking at what our current situation is for this fiscal year, FY26. We've had at least 3 months now to kind of look at our revenue stream and our expenses, and we'll continue to look at that. Like Elaine had mentioned earlier, we're going to continue on tomorrow with further discussions on it, but we have a fairly good handle of where we're at. And, judging by our financials, Elaine alluded to this too, that if the article is approved at town meeting, that we do have the funds to take care of bringing on another employee at the plant and a part-time admin position to help Jeannie in the office for FY '26. So we can handle it this year, and we would anticipate, if that does go through, then we would just continue funding it year by year as we move forward.
That's good. Gene, just to make, it's not on our agenda, but we've been talking about the expansion estimate from CDM, which we talked about last meeting. I just got the revised information now, but it goes to the financial and it goes to what the costs are going to be. So if I can ask you to put it on the agenda for the next meeting, we may not get to it. We got a lot going on next Tuesday, but just so it's on the agenda going forward, because I do have it and I am making comments, but we won't discuss it anymore. All right, so financials are good. Staffing.
So we've kind of hit on this at quite a few meetings, but we still have our operator that injured himself last winter, snow and ice injury, and he had surgery recently. He's still recovering, so we're expecting somewhere towards the end of the year, December, January, somewhere in that range, hopefully getting that member back in service with us. And we have an additional staff member that may have some upcoming health issues that may take him away from us a few days here and there until further notice. So we continue to struggle with staffing updates. So that brings us back to the town meeting article that, we could seriously use, not only help currently, but as we move forward with the growth of the plant and the future growth that will be coming to town, plus the backlog of stuff that we have, probably a couple of years worth of maintenance things that we could be dealing with. So there's definitely a need for a staffing upgrade in terms of bodies. So I don't want to dwell on it much more than that, but there's definitely a need.
On a related subject, just I know this past week there've been a couple of unexpected, from your point of view, unexpected maintenance difficulties. Can you maybe talk about those a little bit?
It's every week.
Yeah.
We had an issue, we'll go back 4 weeks ago. We had 2 pumps at Marion Drive that were basically hanging on by a thread. And we had actually take one out, drive it to Connecticut, have it serviced, and drive it back the same day. So there's things like that happen on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that just emergencies that you don't know when they're going to pop up. Last week we had a heavy rainfall that for some reason 2 of our actuators that actually open up the air valves to feed the bugs in the tank that do all the treatment work. The actuator screen just went dead. And we took another actuator, put it in its place, and that one was also dead. So these are things that just happen on a daily, weekly basis.
Yeah.
With that being said, we ship those out. Part of my thing going forward is some of this equipment we've had in the past, you might get 20 years out of it. Other equipment, you don't know when it's going to go. And we've had 2 actuators go just in the last 2 weeks.
And these are some of the newer ones, right?
These were put in within the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And what I was told was that it was a software glitch in these actuators.
Embedded in the circuitry.
Yeah, so everything nowadays has a circuit board connected to it, or multiple circuit boards. And these ones needed an update and they had to be shipped out, but you don't know when that particular update is gonna just die on you. So, it just adds to the confusion. So if we actually had a spare tank right now. We're operating 3 tanks. We have a 4th as a spare. I was able to take one of the heads off of the spare tank and use it in its place and ship the other 2 out. But, those are the things that you don't know are gonna happen. They just happen to happen. It's not like you can plan for some of these things to go wrong, and it's continual.
All right, anything else you talk about?
As far as so while all that's going on, we have our day-to-day activities. We've got sludge pickups that come twice a week. We've got septic haulers that come in all day long. We've got the actual treatment of the wastewater that's coming and going. We've got sampling up the leaching fields that has to happen. Weekly samples that we do at the plant, daily samples we do at the plant, lab work. It's a continuous process that runs 24 hours a day, and the guys have been stepping up where we're shorthanded. They've been doing an excellent job. I can't say enough about them. But on that, it's just it's been a struggle lately, and I look forward to getting at least one operator back. But if we can get a second one, it would certainly help. On top of all that, we've been trying to get the manholes up at Country Club Way down to the appropriate elevation so that.
So you're gonna lower them.
Yeah, so they've been working on that. We have a crew in, and they've been doing it as they have time as fill-in work for their crews. So it's been hit or miss. I think there was somewhere around 12 or 13 of them, and they've gone through just about all of them except for 2 at this point, I believe. So we're getting there.
Cool.
And then up at the leaching field this week, some of the runoff, because the grass isn't established yet. Some of that runoff was starting to fill in some of the trenches that we tried to trench, so the runoff wouldn't overflow into the neighbor's yard that we had a problem last fall. So those trenches that we used to divert the water filled in with more sediment, and now that's kind of created a situation that berm is no longer there to protect the overflow going into the neighbor's yard. So we're up there digging a new trench this week with shovels. So it's just a continual process of
You have hay bales up there at all? Have you been using that?
There's a silt sock up there that runs along the edge and silt fencing.
Yeah.
But when the first overflow happened up there, because there wasn't grass established last winter, some of that just kind of ran over and.
Yeah, I know there was a tree limb that fell down.
Tree fell right on it, yeah.
Make it, but there must be some areas that if you did, a 20-foot hay bale setup, the most prone areas could maybe divert it out a little further. Although
Yeah,
that probably can cause it.
We had C&C go in and actually regrade the area and trench it.
Okay.
And then
all right.
the last rainfall, there was so much runoff because of there not being an established grass field
Okay.
up there yet. It just keeps resedimenting, and some of the runoff is retrenching itself. So it's been a battle. But again, it's just one more item that gets thrown on top of you every day.
And just on the leaching field, while we're talking about that, there's been an ongoing dialogue between Dave, CC, CDM, and us on getting the water system situation fixed. I think that as of today, I don't think we've had an answer as to whether the water department has been able to give us access to the water, but in any event, there'll be a meeting Tuesday to hopefully resolve that
With CC Construction.
with CC Construction, who's asked for this several times now. But we can talk about that all later a little bit more, but to see if we can resolve it. Fortunately, as Dave mentioned earlier, that we've had some rain, a little too much one day, but enough, and the grass is actually starting to grow. So it's a good news.
Would it make sense if I went to the meeting with CC Construction next Tuesday? If there was a
Um,
commissioner there with them?
That would not hurt. I know it's not gonna
Okay.
be me. That was-
Yeah, that's why I mean, I'd be happy to go, just to, have a presence there, with
Yeah, I
CC
think that's good.
Construction.
Yeah, and initially, all
Okay.
we were asking for is water so they could hydro seed the field up there, and
Yeah.
have a future discussion about whether or not, if we don't get enough natural rainfall, then there might be the need to irrigate. But all we want at this point is just a simple water meter and a couple thousand gallons to hydro seed. And it seems like it's become a challenge just to get that. And last year it was given to us pretty regularly without an issue. And without a meeting.
So, it's a bit frustrating, but we'll work with it and then. Anything else, Gene or David? Do you wanna?
Town meeting article was taken care of. Yeah, in the future, we can get into future town meeting articles, what we'll be looking at doing with some of the wording on some of our articles that are sitting there right now, but we can table that for down the road discussions once we get through this town meeting.
Okay.
Just looking at rewrite some of the verbiage on articles, maybe, and bring that into spring town meeting.
Yeah, Springtown meeting will, it's on the agenda here, but there'll be issues as we get through the CDM piece and I know we're prioritizing where the flows are, where the flows are most prioritized. So by next meeting, probably the following meeting, I hope we have a chance to talk about that in more detail on and also have the chance to talk about setting up, which has been postponed now, our joint meeting with the Water Commission to kind of start working more closely together. We had to put that off because of other matters, but I think it's a priority for us to get some kind of working relationship.
Yeah.
in the
I'm
next
jumping
one.
off.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I just want to say that, the relationship that Stacy, myself and Laurie have between the water and sewer, is a great relationship that we communicate and that, if I have a question or need help with something, Stacy has always made herself available, and Laurie and vice versa. So, I think that's something that's really good, that the three of us can collaborate together and work through things.
That's really good to know. That is good to know.
Yeah, they've actually helped each other quite a bit with different questions and scenarios. They try and run different reports and they'll work with each other on that. And it's continual, which is nice.
I think, it seems to me at least that the potential for a lot of really good coordination, board-wise, town-wide, is phenomenal. And there's so many synergies and overlaps that we have, and with the financial stuff, it's been working great. But I think it could get broader, and that's what we have to discuss and try to resolve. Let's see. The only other item that we have on here is Cushman Farm update, but I'm not sure there's anything more we've had that meeting.
Right, I just received from them new site plans, so I can give you
Okay.
guys a copy of that.
I do have one comment on that. Based on the plans that were presented to us last meeting and looking at the available lots and looking at the flow that might be available for those lots versus what the proposal would be, they're pretty close. I mean, in terms of flow between if somebody had developed them with the existing lots. Which I think is important because we have maintained all along that we're not adding flow capacity that wasn't already anticipated. And in this case, now that we have good plans and good, good information and the number of units and that kind of, which was very good to have, they come in very close together. And that helps us with the CDM piece because they're looking at that pump station, whether it can be reused, updated, or it needs some new one, depending on the flow. And those are important pieces of information to know. Okay, I think this is something I'm missing.
Nope, I have nothing. Yeah,
Give you one more story and then we can close.
Okay,
So just came back to my head. So Monday morning, we had a generator that didn't start on its exercising cycle. Turned out a mouse had chewed into the wiring in the transfer switch.
it's that time of year.
Supposed to set the exerciser, send the signal out to the generator to start. So it was discovered it didn't start. Get in there and figured out a mouse had gotten in there eating the wires. So not only do we deal with plant stuff, you know, you're dealing with 16 of these pump stations out throughout town. And we went to the electric store, grabbed some wires, ran 7 new wires through the conduit, fished them all through, rewired everything. Got everything up and running. Turns out when they chewed through, they actually destroyed the circuit board with the starter relay on it. So we had to have someone come in, replace the starter relay on the circuit board. So just another thing that's just these daily things that all of a sudden we had to have 3 guys out there, you know, working on this project. And if you have a tanker coming or a pump that goes down, it's getting tough to handle all the emergencies. You know, someday there's gonna be a point that we don't have bodies to handle whatever emergencies are going on that days.
Yeah, the article is definitely timely.
You guys use your mutual aid with highway? I mean, they grab you to plow snow, don't
They do, but the deal is with us is we'll give them our labor. If we're fully staffed. If we're not fully staffed, we have to take our guys and go plow out all our pump stations, shovel them all up. So it's been something by design. It was intended to happen, but we've been short-staffed now for multiple years. And they do help, you know, if we need a hand and I call Sean, he'd give me someone. And the same with the building department, if we need someone on an emergency basis, but,
they? Take a machine up and dig that trench for them. The leach you feel.
yeah,
Instead of doing it by hand.
yeah, you know, it took us about an hour and a half, 2 guys, and by the time I got them to come up, do it, load up the truck, get it all back, it would have been, you know, a bigger project, certainly you have to kind of play that out.
Yep.
Sean's been a great help. Building department, I approached them about my staffing issue and let them know that if I call on you, it's because I need someone.
Yeah.
And so they are willing to give us someone as well. So, yeah, facilities, so.
It was really unfortunate that Cece had just done a remarkable job getting it cleaned up in the way it should have been, and then with, you know, it gets 6.5 inches of rain again. But that's what it is.
It's a game of whack-a-mole.
If we had the grass growing like it should have been last year, we wouldn't be in here, but here we are. Okay, if that's it, then motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thanks.